Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to talk about Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that is the 22nd, 23rd, 24th. Welcome to the fixed sign of the season here in the Northeast and the Northern Hemisphere. Actually, we're hot in the summer. We're in a heat wave. That is so typical for this time of year, nice and hot. So we're going to talk about the sun in the sign of Leo. Let me grab my notes. We're going to also talk about Mercury is in Leo as well, making a fantastic connection to Jupiter on Saturday, and the moon is in Gemini. So we have some really good things to talk about, some fun stuff to talk about. So I'm going to share my screen with you just in a second to show you what I'm looking at, so you can learn to read a chart if you want to. Otherwise, just listen and close your eyes or just take the notes. What makes sense to you? All right. At the end, we'll do some astro dice as a little bit of added content and a card pull from that deck. So let me get started. We're going to share the screen with you. And the chart I have up right now, and again, this is no ascendant, no midheaven. We're not talking about house placements because this is the energy for everybody. And I'm going to give you times, and you have to translate that into your own time zone. Here's the sun in the sign of Leo. It happens on the 22nd today. I'm recording this on the 22nd. So it happens today at 4:07 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So go ahead and translate that to your own time zone. Up until then, that sun is at the very end of Cancer. And people have been saying, what the heck? I'm going to animate my chart here. People have been saying, what the heck is going on? We'll just go back to yesterday, right? And there we go. I'm trying. Here we go. Here's yesterday, 28 degrees as we move forward, 29 degrees this morning here, Friday, the 22nd. So the thing is, it's like what's going on is the moon the sun is super sensitive. Whenever a planet is at the final degree, especially the last one, or 28 and 29 degrees of a sign, there is a lot of intensity around that sign, and Cancer is feelings and emotions, and people are wondering what's going on with that. Throughout the night, the moon did make its conjunction to Uranus, but that's quite a separating aspect now. So we don't have to be overly concerned with that anymore. If you didn't sleep well Thursday night into Friday morning, that could be why. But everybody has their own reasons for not sleeping well. If that's your thing right now, I didn't sleep well. So the point with this is that it represents these last few days, the 21st, the 22nd, with the sun in the very last 2 degrees of Cancer, a lot of emotion. People are asking about that. And we did have the sun exactly opposite Pluto, and that was on the 19th. So yeah, I saw a lot of posts about people saying, oh, Chiron went retrograde. Why is everything so crazy? It's like, it's not Chiron retrograde. It was the sun opposite Pluto. All right, so I'm going to grab the charts that I actually want to look at. So here's again the sun, chart number 2. There we are. So now we have the sun moving into the sign of Leo. And you Leos out there, it's your birthday now. It's your birthday astrological month, because these astrology months start in the middle of the calendar months. They don't line up. So we all know that. So opportunities here for creativity, for fun, for art, for exploring what you're passionate about. We have a new moon in Leo coming up on the 28th. It's at 5 degrees of Leo, so it's very early. It's like where Mercury is approximately right now. So when we get to that video is already out. So I'm going to link it to the end of this one. So please go check that out. You want to pay attention to that new moon video. It is halfway between the solar eclipses this year, the one on April 30th that we had, and the one coming up on October 25th. It is really important. So make sure you watch that too. So sun in Leo is here now. Play, fun, passion, excitement, creativity, things like that. That is what we're going to be doing when the sun is in the sign of Leo. Let's move on to Saturday, the 23rd. The moon has entered the sign of Gemini. Will be in Gemini all weekend. It entered Gemini in the middle of the night Friday night into Saturday. So here on the East Coast, it was just after 1 a.m. And so needless to say, that I like when anything's in Gemini, because we just talk, we communicate. So for the next couple of days, while the moon is in the sign of Gemini, we are going to be communicating and talking and sharing lots of information and sharing how we're feeling about things. A lot of things to talk about, always a lot of things to talk about. And that's how we get, that's how we use this energy for everybody, So be aware that there could be a lot of conversations going on over the weekend, which, that sounds typical, right? But it will be more than usual. It'll be more than usual. That's Monday. I don't want to go into Monday yet. So the 23rd, I'm going to pop into this at 1:52. Oh yeah, I am I'm already on the chart I want. Sometimes I get distracted by the moon in Gemini, being a Gemini myself. You guys see that in me once in a while. We have Mercury. Here we have Mercury. He's the ruler of Gemini. So Mercury is kind of in charge of the moon right now for a couple of days, and it's making a trine aspect to Jupiter in Aries. So this is a fire trine because Leo is fire, Aries is fire. Mercury is really being very dynamic and communicating what it is that we want to communicate with the world, this beautiful fire trine. So creatively talking, creatively communicating, speaking loudly, especially if it's connected to Jupiter and Aries. You know what this really makes me think of? I know there's wireless microphones now, but in my, I'm in my 60s. Back in the day, I used to be involved in local theater in New Hampshire on the seacoast. It's now it's at Prescott Park. And I was one of the originals when I was a teenager that started that was part of the whole crew. Back then, we just didn't have mics, right? Wireless mics. So you had to talk really loud as an actor for the people to hear you. So this is what it reminds me of when I see Mercury and Leo making a trine aspect to Jupiter and Aries. It's like, for people to hear me, Jupiter and Aries, I need to speak loudly, Mercury in Leo. So it's just fun. Anyway, it's a fun way. So you might need to speak up. You might need to say something 3 or 4 times if you want to be heard. That's what this energy shows me. And again, as the moon throughout the weekend, Saturday and through Sunday, is moving through the sign of Gemini, we can just recognize that there is, a lot of communication and information being shared with everybody. Okay. That's what we have. That's it. We're going to be not until very late in the day, which is actually Monday. Not until Monday is when the moon will make a trine aspect to Saturn. So that would be an air trine, but that'll be in the middle of the night on Monday, Sunday night into Monday. So have fun, get out there, play. And we got more. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to put my book aside. Yeah, there's so much information and sharing the content that you want to share. Get out there and share that information. Have the conversations with people, reach out. I've been doing that the last couple of days, even though the moon is not in Gemini yet. I've been reaching out to people that I haven't talked to or even connected with for quite a few months. Just, life gets busy and people don't connect. So I've been reaching out. That's a way to do it. That's a way that you can do it too. So that's what I feel this whole weekend is about: communicating with others, reaching out, getting your point heard, your point across. It's not an angry energy. It's not. It's like, express yourself, right? Do what you need to do. Mercury will come up and square Mars at some point in time. I don't have it in my head. It happens sooner than later. When does Mercury? Oh, there's a fly in front of me. Mercury will square Uranus on the new moon. And Mercury squares Mars on Tuesday. We'll talk about that in the next video. All right, are we ready? I know there's a little fly in front of my face, sorry. For the Astro Dice, this is just, what else does, is there an added message from Spirit? Do they want us to know more? And here you can also ask your own questions. My goodness. We've had some rough rolls lately. I've been rolling a lot of South Node stuff. So for me, that represents that I need to look at some things that I'm letting go. There's that little bug again. That must be a fruit fly. I got Saturn in Aquarius, which it is right now, and in the 7th house. So the seven came up. So that means it's in the 7th house. So what does that tell us? The additional content is, so for those of you who are working on relationships, because that is the 7th house stuff. If you're working on relationships, it doesn't have to be a domestic relationship. It can also be a partnership, a business kind of partnership. This is telling us, it's like, it represents the removal of boundaries. Saturn creates boundaries, and Aquarius wants them to go away. Aquarius wants us to be freer. So there could be some sort of dialogue, since we have so much in communication over the, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 22nd, 23rd, 24th. There's so much communicating going on. With that roll of the dice, that telling us that it could very well be that there is some sort of negotiations back and forth between you and a partner. All right. Doesn't have to be a negative thing. It can be just like, hey, we got some business things to talk about. Let's get this done. Or, we have a relationship thing, that an issue we want to talk about. Get it done. So that's what, geez, I'm crow. Shuffle these better than that. You guys are seeing me in a mess this morning. This is a mess. This is what a mess looks like. I have one client this morning, and I'm recording this Friday morning, and then I am off for a couple of days. I block out my weekends this time of year because I'm doing 50, 60 hours during the week, and I definitely need a little break. All right. Not a complaint. It is a blessing. Spirit Keeper of the North came up. And that's about your history. It's about ancient ancestors. It's the winter time of year. And we could all use a little coolness right now because it's hot as the hell in here in New Hampshire anyways. I know it is everywhere else too. But, oh yeah, and then I just flipped the deck and the elders came up. So this is a message for somebody that when the elders comes up and the keepers of the North, that always to me represents somebody here, some of us, one of us, all of us, who knows. It's like focusing on, not focusing, being open to what your elders know in their history and their past. And if you work with them, say in your spirit world, whatever your modality is, if you do work with ancestors or even your own ancestors, then they are close and they're here to help, to hold you in a space of love and to give you the guidance if you're open for that. All right. So Spirit Keeper of the North is like that. And so is the elders. So what would your elders do? Right. I'm going to grab the book. Yeah, that's what it is. And it's about mending relationships, watching your dreams, meditating, waiting for those answers. Those answers are inside, So, and I'm thinking of one person, especially her daughter is not well right now. Very young daughter, soon critical care right now. A lot of physical things going on. And so I'll think of her. You can think of her too, even though you don't know who she is. And we'll just send that some healing to that family. So I think of that. But what about you? We all have our things that are stressing us out or creating, a lot of family dynamics. And so reach out to your ancestors, talk. I mean, I would think, I would talk to my grandmother. I do that all the time in my head. She's not with us anymore. But yeah, so maybe you need to do that too. Thank you guys for being here. You know the routine. Please comment, like, and share. I know that's old-fashioned thing to say. And they say don't do that anymore.